All right. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining our latest webinar on the Video AI Vision platform. Today, we're going to be talking about the Video's abnormality detection function, including what it is and how it works. If you have any questions throughout, please go ahead and type them into the Q&A box. As always, we will answer all submitted questions at the end, as well as allow for you to raise your hand and be unmuted to ask your question verbally. I'll now hand it over to Nathan Vank for the presentation and demo. Nathan?
Wonderful. Jacob, thank you so much. I appreciate the introduction. Hope everyone can hear me all right. We're going to go ahead and get started with a quick 430 slides. Now, we're just going to get started. We're going to go through 4 slides. This is part of our webinar series. We want to keep this to a minimum of maximum of 15 minutes or so. So please feel free to send over your questions. We are going to hit on a few slides and then jump into the presentation. This is brought to you by Iron Yoon and AI CUDA Technologies. We're showing you the abnormality event detections inside of Video. Just before we get started, Iron Yoon and AI CUDA, I know there's a lot of people here from Europe. There's a lot of people here from the United States. 12 years ago, when the idea of Video was created, the company was created, Iron Yoon, in the United States, and one of our founders created the European region, the AI CUDA Technologies branch, to cover the European region. Our product is one and the same. It's Video. So when you see Video, that's what I'm showing you today, whether it's under Iron Yoon or AI CUDA, it's the same product and same synergies there. So the company was started about 12 years ago, and the product Video has now been around for about 6 years. 6 years ago, it started off as a forensic search tool, the 0.1. This is the fastest forensic tool at this level of accuracy in the industry. And we've since ventured into security applications, public safety applications, manufacturing applications, and so on. Today, we're going to focus on the abnormality detection. And you could imagine this working with your favorite VMS. Milestone, for example, is a partner of ours. Everything that you see here, you can imagine this doing a two-way sync with Milestone technology. So if you have a Milestone system set up, you could stay in that Milestone. You can receive alerts from Video, and without having to leave, you could stay in your Milestone and do the forensic search. So all these abnormality events would simply push to your Milestone, and please stay tuned towards the end of the video. We're going to show a quick video of all of these features working in Milestone as well. So I'm going to jump on through to the end here. We have over 17, 18 different categories at this time. By the end of the year, we will have 30 different categories. Today, we're going to cover all of the abnormalities. So that's going to lump in the wrong direction of vehicle and person. This is going to detect if a person has fallen. We're also going to be able to detect smoke and fire, and also weapon detection as well. So let's get into it without further delay. So here I am. I am not in any special software. I am in my Google Chrome browser, and I'm punching into our headquarters on the East Coast. We have our different dedicated sections. So just to show you how easy this is from setup to receiving alerts, I want to walk you through how would you set up an abnormality detection and how would you receive that alert. So if you have your system here, you'd simply go to your camera management. Your Video product would be plugged into your network at this time, just with a switch and router. You would simply click Auto Discovery. This would scan for all of the different cameras on your network and be very easy for you to bring them in one at a time. And once you bring them in one at a time, you will see a list of your cameras that you brought in and then you renamed. And then you would simply draw a region of interest for the camera that you're looking for. So let's say this elevator in particular. You could select the engines that you want to apply, say person falling, a PPE, object left behind, loitering, intrusion, so on. You could have all of our analytics turned on one channel if you would like to. So you would just simply set a zone, confirm it, give it a name, and give it a schedule to alert. With the abnormality of slip and fall, it's bundled into this. It's always looking for it. And if we bring up the wrong direction, you would simply draw a line, say this is where a person can go, where a person shouldn't go. You could switch the direction. This is the same for vehicle. So once you have that set up, you would go to your alerts. You would configure an alert however you'd like to receive this in your milestone device. If you would like this pushed via email, if you would like this pushed via your app notification, you could set up all of your rules here in just minutes. Very simple to do. So let's go ahead and take a look at those alerts. We'll go ahead and go to the fall down detection. And if you can see here, we're able to start receiving the alerts of the wrong direction and the person falling. So let me go ahead and bring one up. It's noticing that this gentleman has fallen in the elevator. It sent that alert out. Yes, this is a demo. It's on a loop. We don't want to actually show video of people falling over simulation, but you get the idea here. It's detecting somebody falling over, and these alerts are in real time. Real time as in 3 to 5 seconds, you will get an alert that someone has fallen over. You get the snapshot of that. You could pull the video from your recorder and you could edit this scene and export that video, a couple minutes each way or so, and then pass that off to who you need to. You can make sure that this person's all right and make sure you have this archived in your files. And then with the wrong direction, it's just as easy as that as well. So we have a wrong direction set up on this street in Taipei, one of our smart cities. And you could see that there is a zone drawn for the wrong direction. And there is a vehicle driving through the street. There's a motorcycle and a large vehicle. And you can see that we distinguish this as the wrong direction, and it picked it up going that way. So you have this in an intersection, you have this going into a parking lot or into a commercial park, and there is clearly an exit only. You could have this set up to make sure somebody didn't bypass your security and come in the wrong way. And you get that alert instantly as well. Okay, great. I want to show a couple more. You can also get as detailed as smoke and fire. All we need is a small zone, about 48 pixels, and we can detect a fire as it's breaking out. You can see here that there is a fire that's breaking out. And let me go ahead and pull this up over here in the forensic search tool. You have smoke. You can run a search here. So you can see this is more visible, and you see that there's smoke being detected. So you could have this on a PTZ camera in a wildlife area, scanning a zone of a quarter mile or so. And if it detects smoke before the fire even breaks out, you can get that alert. And here's the visibility in day. And you can see here's more of a nighttime scene. It's hard to see with your eyes, but there is smoke here in the scene all over, and it's picking that up. You can also detect the fire as well. And you can see very small hitbox. This is not a thermal camera application. This is using your IP, the RGB. And you can see very small fire here, and it's picking up that alert as well. And we also have the weapon detection. We are one of the first providers to the Department of Homeland Security for weapon detection. We can detect rifles, handguns, and knives. And you can see here, This is in our office, our partner's office, and you can see that there is a weapon that this person is yielding. So it's not even a profile shot. This is straight on, nearly down the barrel, and it's able to detect that this person has a weapon. So you can have this, in addition to the alerts being sent out that I mentioned earlier, you can have this also trigger lights and sound devices on the network. You can lock doors or unlock doors, send out a message depending on that particular scene. Okay, so now I want to show the milestone integration that I mentioned earlier, just to show all of those alerts inside of this platform as well. So you can see here, this is inside the milestone dashboard. You have different alerts set up in the different colors of those boxes. If somebody's wearing no mask, it will send in a red bounding box. You can see that it is cataloged here. Somebody walked by with a mask versus not having a mask, and it called it out instantly. And then friendly reminder to wear your mask, and there you go again. And you can see that these are pushing through. Even at these distances, it's detecting the person, detecting their face, and then detecting if the mask is on there. You can see, again, in real time, it is bringing it up. Okay, Jacob, I want to turn this back to you. Is there any questions over on your end?
Yeah, so we have a few that I'm seeing already. The first one is, how many abnormal events can we create in Video?
Sure. So you're limited by your own imagination. Right now, we have several different abnormality events, and we're continuing to add to that constantly. So if there is an event that you're looking for in particular, the slip and fall that I mentioned, I have a customer here in California that is looking for a slip and fall of cattle. So if we could incorporate that into the abnormality detection. But right now, the ones that I covered are just about all of them.
Yeah, so that kind of leads into the next question, which is, what if the abnormal event we are looking for to detect is not an option in Video?
Great. We have two options for you if that is the case. You can request this to be built out. We will sync with you with our R&D team and come up with a timeline and turn that around to you. It typically takes 2 or 3 months to give you any given analytic. And depending on the scope of work, it might be easy enough to do in your DIY kit. We have an internal tool that we've given to our customers to allow them to build their own engines. And if it might be likely that you could build that yourself. So we'll give you the software to do so. You could train your own engine in a few hours time. You can track the accuracy. You can give feedback to the device, and then you could implement that into your Video platform.
Awesome. Okay, the next question is, how many events can be identified at the same time? What is the minimal size of the person that can be detected with a weapon or mask?
Great question. So at the same time, all of the objects in a scene are getting tagged with the metadata. You can see that there's tons of objects, vehicles and persons and golf carts. All of these events are being tagged here. So depending on what's in the scene, you could set up to detect at any given time looking for surfboards, or you could turn that filter off. You have a CAN template, the general profile of all the objects that it's looking for. So it's nearly 100 different objects that it's cataloging at any given time. And you could use that to search across. So if a scene has a vehicle and a person, if you just did a vehicle search, you could find that scene. If you just did a person search, you could find that scene. If you're looking for a scene with a person and vehicle in it, then it'll drill down to those scenes that match that criteria. And what was the second question, Jacob?
What is the minimal size of the person that can be detected with a weapon or mask?
Oh, of the person, you could get it. It just as good as your eye quality. For the person itself, maybe 200 feet or so is recommended, depending on the hardware itself. And the mask, um, I think it's right around 48 pixels as well. But we could get together with you if you have a large scene and make sure you're comfortable with the math before you pull the trigger on that. So just let us know and we could help with the calculations of that if it's a distance where you're pushing it to the edge.
Okay, and that actually leads into the next question, which is asking about the pixels, which I think you answered. Um, and then we have another question asking, can you push notifications to a mobile device? Does it push via an app or messenger like WhatsApp or Telegram?
Oh, sure. Yeah, so we have an SMTP email server. You can easily configure that to my carrier, for example, is Verizon. I could put my cell phone number at verizon.com and then send the alert to that email, and then that populates as a text message on my phone. We also have two mobile apps. There is the core platform app that you see here in a condensed mobile application. And then we also have the camera app that turns your phone into a camera on your security system. And you will get in real time the alerts over your camera display. So if you're going over a vehicle in real time, you will get all of the details about that vehicle on your mobile device.
Okay, and I can send a video of that in the chat later on in the webinar. And we also have another question asking, do you have any video clips of alerts?
Of alerts. Sure, we could send those over and then let me show you here. So here's the waterfall of alerts coming in, and I'll show you how easy it is to set up. So depending on the alert, the different dedicated sections, driver's license reader, it all shows differently in a display that is useful for that given analytic. Let me go ahead and show you how to set it up. So here is the slip and fall detection. It's easy to give it a name, add notes to it. You can add the event that you want to alert for. You can choose the cameras that you want this to apply to. You can create list, let's say facial recognition. If you own a gym, you want members to get access, so the trigger opens the door. If there is somebody who is stolen from you, maybe you want that to trigger another series of events. So you could add different lists depending on how you want to categorize those vehicles or those people. And then you create a schedule for the times you want to detect or the times you want to leave out. And you can simply choose the trigger, the relay. You could choose the milestone push. You could choose our app notification. And there's a few other VMS partners that we work with as well. And you would simply create the message that you would like. And you can see all the different meta tags that you can include about the event, images, links to it, more information. So you get all of that right away, and it makes it easy if this were to come in to see the image and whatnot.
Okay, great. Thank you. And we now have someone raising their hand. I'm going to unmute them.
Great. Hello. I don't think we can hear you just yet. Would you mind checking the mic?
Kaleem, can you hear us?
Okay, sorry, Kaleem. I don't think we can hear you. If you could message that, that would be wonderful.
Yeah,
Sorry,
just
there's
feel
always
free
something
to
that happens on these screen shares.
just feel free to type it into the Q&A box if your mic is not working. Otherwise, that is all the questions I see for now. If you have any more questions, anyone, please feel free to raise your hand or type them into the Q&A box.
Alrighty.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh,
Okay,
excellent.
but
Hello.
unfortunately, the picture was not clear to me. The text and everything when the settings were going on for the lost object and the left object and everything. But I'm quite familiar with the product line because I had been working with Milestone from almost 10 years now.
Wonderful. Yep. To summarize the text, we don't have an SMS option at this time. If that's
no, a question, Nathan, that you claim that without the VMS also your software works. So can you just clarify on that part, please?
Sure. So it works in parallel with the VMS. The VMS, we're lacking VMS qualities such as the storage. Everything that you see here, it's tagging the metadata and those snapshots. We work in conjunction with the VMS to pull that full video. So it's best to have this with a Milestone product. Milestone stays on the bleeding edge of all of these different hardwares that are being developed. They could beautifully manage that, and we just run in parallel with it. And when there's an event, we can pull from the recorder and bring it into our platform, or vice versa.
So this is Mai from Aaron Yun. I just like to add a little bit into Nathan's answer here. The video platform can work without any VMS, meaning if you pull a camera stream directly from the camera into video, it will apply the analytics such as weapon detection or abnormal detection, and provide the alerts, the result as Nathan showed earlier. If you want to work with the VMS, such as Milestone, we can pull the stream from the Milestone and NVR and push the alert back into the VMS. Okay, so those are the video and the Milestone are independent of each other and can work independently, but they can also work in tandem.
Thank you, Mark. Okay.
All right, so we have a few other questions.
Oh, excellent.
So one of them is, can you train in engine and create also a specific behavior detection of people or animals using the video DIY tool?
Great question. And yes, that's exactly the thought. We've had this used. Customers on their own accord have created, let's say, issues in steel being manufactured. If there's scuffs or warps or defects in that steel, the customer, if you have that footage, if you have those images, you could train it yourself and get the alert that you're looking for.
Okay, great. And we have someone asking about, can you show an example of object left behind detection? And does it work in a crowded environment?
Oh, okay. Yes, so the object left behind is not in here, but let me show you something similar. So you have all of these different objects here. Let's say a backpack. You could say a black car. You can load these up. So you can see that there's dozens of results, or hundreds of results rather. And you can see that it's detecting all of these different objects.
Nathan,
And
if you go into the camera setting, we can show the object left behind setting.
okay.
I'm also going to be sending a link into the chat of a video of it as well.
Perfect. So those are all the different objects. And if you see this engine where you could create the object left behind, you can create the zone. And then object that you're looking for. So if you want to make sure backpacks aren't left behind at an airport, you can set the zone, set the schedule when you want to be alerted on this, and then the timing as well. If it's left behind unaccompanied, say with 30 seconds, then you could get that alert pushed out through the methods that we've discussed earlier.
Okay, great. And we have someone asking, are there any other VMSs that you support?
Absolutely, and we're constantly building this list out. And I do apologize, there are some already missing from this list, but you can see here that this product complements all of our partners here, and you can see some of those names on this list. And then there's different levels of integration for all of these different manufacturers, and you can find more of that information on our partner portal of the level of integration.
All right. And we have another question from Kaleem. Kaleem, can you unmute?
Nathan, when we are talking about the license plate recognition, do you have any references in the Middle East for the Arabic license plates and everything?
Great question. I love these questions. Yes, we do. We have several customers in EMEA and the Middle East, and we have that specific. We have worked on those plates specifically. I know that they come in all different shapes and sizes, and we support the entire region. We support Australia. We support even Alberta, Canada, some of the world's toughest plates in all these different regions, and we're able to pick those up with sharp accuracy. And you can do this with, depending on the speed of the vehicle, we could detect up to 85 miles per hour. But let's just say in a given parking lot, you could stick with a 2 megapixel camera and you can accurately detect all of those plates without a hardware that's specific to LPR.
All right. I'm not seeing any more questions right now. We have about a minute or two left. If you have any final questions, please feel free to submit them or raise your hand. Either one works.
Thank you for all the questions, everyone. These are great.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining today. You will likely receive a follow-up email later today with a recording of the webinar, as well as any documentation we covered in the call. We appreciate you taking the time to join us, and please feel free to reach out to sales or marketing with any questions.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.